This is a post Lonesome Lake hike for Troop 2. I figured I'd do a post hike of all the stuff that I brought that maybe I didn't need to bring. This is my backpack. There are a couple extra carabiners and stuff like that on it that I didn't really need. This is all the gear that I brought. Some of it I didn't need, and I figured I'd go over that so that other leaders can learn from my lesson. These are the poker chips I got. I got their little wooden chips from Michael's that were a big hit. Hiking poles were great, both up on the way up and the way down. This is obviously my water bottle. I only carried a liter with me. These are my fingerless gloves that I had on most of the time, although while hiking, I used the fingered gloves inside my really warm ice fishing mittens. On the way up, one of our scouts encountered some cramps in his leg, and fortunately, we were able to get him some electrolytes in this gel. This is a non-sugar based gel, so it tends to not give you that spike that sugar does, and that was helpful. Although in hindsight, he didn't really like the espresso flavor. Probably want to get a fruity flavor there. Carry my ibuprofen in these tubes since the bags tend to get things smashed. Carried a bunch of hand warmers up. I only used maybe 2 sets of them. Toe warmers, I bought 3. I used 2 of them. I've got an extra one. Headlamp was very, very helpful. It gets dark early. This is my miscellaneous bag of cord and extra batteries and matches and stuff. I didn't use any of it. Mug, didn't use the mug at all. I thought I was going to have bad knees, so I brought some extra ace bandages so I could kind of take care of myself. Didn't wind up needing those, but I'm glad I had them. This is actually sriracha that I did not use, but a couple of the scouts found helpful. Full first aid kit in a waterproof container that I did not have to use, but I'm glad I brought. Up at the top there is a kind of like a fleece hood, heavy hood thing that I used on the way up and the way back down, but I actually didn't use it at the summit there because I used it to protect myself against the wind, and it just wasn't that windy inside the trees. This is a Z-Pax fleece with the thumb that's integrated into the sleeves, and I wore that up, there, sleeping, and back the entire time, and absolutely loved it. These are my extra change of clothes. I changed socks once and underwear, and that was it. I didn't really need any extra clothes. These are the micro spikes that I used, so those were helpful, obviously, on the way up and the way back down. This is my Diddy kit. This is a little necklace I created with a lighter, a light, a ferrocerium rod, a whistle, some dermatone, and a lighter on it. I used some of those items. I'm glad I had it. It was super easy to put together, and it was very, very light. I had it on my whole time. This is a toilet kit that I always have in my backpack. A little titanium, aluminum shovel, rather, and some hand sanitizer. Number one reason people get sick in the backcountry is lack of hand sanitation after going to the bathroom. It is a true fact. These are waterproof, windproof matches. They're like little torches. This is my pillow. It's actually a Cuban fiber sack with a fleece lining, and inside it I have a inflatable pillow along with a pair of long johns and some extra socks that I change out of my socks. I put new socks on so everything's dry when I go to bed, and a bunch of earplugs. I didn't use the earplugs at all, but you know, they weigh nothing. So 0 degree sleeping bag, obviously that was great. I paired that with a Western mountaineering vapor barrier, and what essentially this does is I would right before I went to bed, I would go to the bathroom. I would eat something that had some fat in it to kind of jumpstart my metabolism. I would change my my socks and my undies so everything was as dry as possible. And then, yes, it's cold. You still got to do it, though. And then I would jump inside this vapor barrier liner with my fleece on and a down, a hat, and my hoodie up. And then this, I would jump inside the 0 degree sleeping bag, cinch the top of the sleeping bag together, and I was as warm as you could possibly get. I was extremely comfortable. That system worked pretty well. This is a sleeping bag liner that I've had for years. I only have used it once when it was like super, super cold, like -10, I think. I didn't use it, but another scout did, so I'm glad that I had it. This is a down hoodie jacket by Patagonia that I wore most of the time. This is a backup down hoodie jacket. I did not use it, but it weighs like under 3 ounces, so I'm glad I had it. Cough drops, didn't use them. Compass, didn't use it, will always carry it. Another gel pack, didn't use it, will always carry it. Somehow I wound up with 3 maps. I don't know how that happened. 2 of them are laminated with our roots highlighted in orange, and then the bailout points, or the backup roots, are in green for easy identification. Field notes for any notes. These are my personal medication. 2 pens, don't need 2 pens. Pink and a green, a black Sharpie, lip balm, a lighter, another knife. These are some fizzy electrolyte kind of Alka-Seltzer type things that I brought. I didn't need them, but I'm glad I had them. A titanium carbon fiber knife. Why? Because you can. Microfiber cloth for cleaning your glasses. Eyeglass cleaner. I hate having dirty eyeglasses. Zinc oxide and sunscreen in case it was super sunny out while we were hiking and I didn't want to get a sunburn. This is a little Joshua Tree lip balm from Gossamer Gear that I carried. As well, here's a little fire starting kit. I did take 2 of these SOL emergency blankets. They're a little heavier than the other cheap ones, but they also don't rip and shred nearly as easy as the cheap ones. So I did not use these. Probably didn't need to bring 2. 1 would have sufficed, but I would have always brought 1 with me. Backup headlamp. Some medication in case I get the pains on the road, on the trail rather. And I forgot my eyeglasses down at the car, and I keep these really light, cheap reading glasses in my my backpack, and man, am I glad I had those. Sleeping earplugs, and then this is just a Cuban fiber little bag or something that I used to keep receipts in, as well as who's going and what cars they're going in and that kind of thing. Stuff I brought I did not need. Did not need a mess kit. Did not need fuel. Did not need a stove. The AMC Lonesome Lake has all that stuff up there. I didn't need to bring any of this up there. It turns out I had in my food bag an extra stove and an extra canister of isobutane. So I brought up 2 stoves, 2 canisters of isobutane, 2 pots. There's one nested in here, and some other stuff that I didn't need to bring. Gaiters. My pants have integrated gaiters in them, so I didn't need to bring these. A little buff. Didn't need to bring that. This is a high-intensity green laser pointer for stargazing. I just forgot I had it. I wish I remembered because the stars were pretty amazing. Knee braces. I thought my knees were going to give out. They did not. A 5-liter ultra-lightweight water carrier. There was water in the sink. There was no need for that. A chem light. Didn't use one, but my roommate Dan did, so it was kind of cool to have that, actually. This is just a little seat pad so you don't get your tush wet, and, I brought it. I didn't need it. And I also brought this Z-Packs rain jacket. It's super light. It's totally waterproof. I didn't need it because it really didn't snow or rain at all, and it really wasn't that windy once we got into the trees. And the last thing I brought that I totally didn't need, and this is actually probably the heaviest thing I didn't need, which is a sleeping pad. They had pads, they had pillows there that so I didn't need to bring that stuff. Also, over there on the counter, way back here, is 4 pounds of extra food I carried. I don't know how I wound up with more food on the way down than when I went up, but to leave no trace and haul all your garbage out. So anyway, that's my breakdown of what I used, what I didn't use, and hopefully this video will be helpful to some future leader or some scouts in Troop 2 or elsewhere. Thanks.